Okay, hey, welcome back to the second part. Today we're going to be finishing this wall and then also this wall, hopefully. I still have to do the ceiling, so that's either going to be at the end of this video or in a separate third video, so look forward to that. It's 2 days later, so it's been 2 days since I've put these up and you last saw me. So I did ask you guys on Instagram for some suggestions of what to talk about. So I have a long list here. There's some good stuff. There's some art related stuff and some not art related stuff. So there should be some fun topics. So let's get started. Okay, first we're gonna talk about some of my favorite artists and some inspirations that I have for my art. So I would say that my number one top favorite artist is an artist called Furry Little Peach. Her name is Sean. She's from Australia, and she makes like children's book illustration kind of. She is a children's book author, but her art style is very like kind of not childish, but like geared towards children, and it's more like simple and very colorful, and I love it. I love all of the colors she uses. Even like her space, like her studio space, is decorated like how I want my room. I mean, like it's kind of like this. It's a similar vibe. But yeah, she's one of my biggest inspirations. Also, like obviously anime and Ghibli, the Ghibli movies. Those are also another big inspiration. I think you could tell in some of my paintings. But yeah, I'm also very inspired by like obviously different Asian cultures and also Greek, like ancient Greek art. You can see tons of examples in my artwork of like different myths and like even the like architecture. Let's see, a lot of people asked about like my different inspirations, my favorite artists, so I would group those all together. Someone asked like some of my different inspirations with like objects. I would say anything like retro. I really like retro things. Also, obviously plants, lots of plants. I really like funky looking plants. Those are really fun to draw. Mushrooms, of course, everyone loves mushrooms. Okay, someone asked for how I come up with my like ideas and designs and my process with that. So I generally start out with like an idea in mind that I want to create, or an intention. Like if I want to create, let's say like for example my fall blankets, I have to think about like ways that I can incorporate like fall things into a blanket. So then I would go from that to like thinking about what fall things there are and like what kinds of things that I like to draw. So kind of find like a middle ground between them two. So then with that, I generally come up with some sketches from those ideas, and I sketched like a whole page full of ideas and thumbnails and different designs. And then I usually pick my favorites out of those and then build like an entire thumbnail, like what the actual piece would look like off of those. And then after that, I come up with the colors, and the colors are very important in my artwork. I would say that's probably the most essential step. That along with like the composition, they kind of go hand in hand. Because it's really important in my art for the colors to like balance out. And I think it looks terrible if the colors are not balanced and it doesn't have the right colorway. So yeah, that's usually how I come up with my designs. Sometimes I'll just like sit there and sketch out a bunch of different random things, and if I really like how it looks, then I'll come up with an actual piece based off of that. But yeah, also like if there's a specific piece that I've already finished and I really like how it looks and I could branch off of different designs and like different compositions within like a similar style or like subject matter, then I'll probably want to create like a series off of that, like with the long ones, the elements, like I'm doing with those. So it's really fun to come up with different, concepts. I think that's probably one of my favorite parts about the whole artistic process, is just being creative and coming up with new ideas and things and like making them reality. Okay, I was also asked how I get out of art block, and I feel like that's a really difficult question to answer. I don't really necessarily always realize when I'm in art block, and I don't even know if I would consider it like an art block, because usually what happens is I just stop drawing. And it's not necessarily that I don't want to draw, it's like I still have the ambition to draw, just not the motivation, if you know that, if you like get what I mean. So it's not necessarily like an art block, but usually it just takes like a few months, which like seems like a really long time. And then like I'll get out of it and I'll start drawing again. And usually it comes in waves, like when I draw and when I don't draw. So usually if there's like a big spurt of drawing or painting where I like go for a month at a time, I usually take like a big long break right after that. Like that happened at the end of my senior year of high school, when I was constantly painting and drawing for like months. It was like 5 months of just constantly painting and drawing. And then I took like a pretty big break in the summer, and I feel like I'm still in that kind of, one thing that helps is like I kind of set a standard for myself. Like I make sure that I post at least every other day. So if I don't have something to post, then it kind of urges me to draw. So that's one way to like keep yourself going. Even if you don't want to grow like a social media presence, like setting like a schedule for yourself, a routine, is really nice to just keep you motivated. Something else that I find helps me with art block is looking at other artists' work and being inspired by them. Like if you just go scrolling on like the art side of Instagram or Pinterest or whatever, you'll find a bunch of great artists, and like sometimes it can get really discouraging looking at how like great their art is. And you think like you'll never be able to achieve like that level of just perfectness, but I find it can go either way for me. Sometimes I get discouraged, and sometimes it motivates me to start drawing again, but that's another way. Another thing is, I would say, like watching like really pretty movies or shows. Like for example, Ghibli movies. Again, I feel like I've talked about them so much, but they really are like big inspirations to just like get yourself back into drawing. And because they have everything, they have scenery, like landscapes, and then they have also like character artists, and they have architecture. It has everything. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can think of right now. If I think of more, maybe I'll talk about it again later. But yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna start talking about some tips that I have for artists who are just starting out, or who aren't very confident in their artwork yet, or who are looking to improve. I would say some advice that I would give is to just like have like an ugly sketchbook on hand that you can just practice drawing with. You don't have to share it with anyone, you don't have to show anyone. Just if you get to like getting yourself to put the pencil on paper and starting out to draw, it can really be helpful. I would also say, like, don't be scared or afraid to trace or like copy or use other artists' work as reference, as long as you don't share them and like, or not necessarily not share them, but as long as you don't credit it as yourself, or if you credit the artist, it's completely fine. It's a great learning tool. A lot of artists start out that way. It's just a great way to learn other people's like styles, like if you do master studies or stuff like that, just to learn how the great people use their like techniques and styles and their different mediums, and like it's a great way to experiment with like other different mediums and how to master them and stuff. You can also just like watch videos of other people drawing. It can be very helpful. It can make you feel more comfortable if you see how other people are doing it instead of just seeing the finished artwork. Seeing process videos I think is very helpful. Just to know that like they started like with a blank piece of paper. Like they didn't just magically have this masterpiece on the canvas or whatever. Like they started from scratch just like you would. It makes it more relatable, I guess, kind of something more achievable. Should I do like a gold theme? Or should I do, I mean obviously they're all gold, but should I do that or should I do, because some of these have like different styles. Should I do like one of each? I don't want this one. But should I do like one of each of these? I think I'll do that. Basically, it all just comes down to practice. Like if you just keep practicing, keep drawing as much as you can, eventually, even if you're not confident with your art right now, eventually you'll see progress over time. You'll see how you progress, and eventually you'll come to a place where you can be satisfied and happy. Okay, I'm gonna talk about my art journey now, specifically, like how I started out and stuff. So I've been drawing since I was little. I don't know if I've said this, but I probably have. I feel like I have. But I've just always been drawing. I've always loved to draw. I did start out kind of like using other artists' work for reference. It's a great tool to have. You don't want to just start from scratch. You gotta learn from other people, learn from their mistakes and stuff. But yeah, I never really took it very seriously. There was a period in time where like in the later years of elementary school, I was really getting into art. I really did a lot of marker work. I used a bunch of like Prismacolor alcohol markers. I was really into that. I still, like the main thing I drew was trees. I loved drawing trees. I still love drawing trees, obviously. But then it sort of like, I was a band kid in middle school. So that's where a lot of my energy went. I didn't draw as much in middle school. But then once I moved to Texas from California, I quit band and I joined art classes. And that like was sort of the catalyst moment for like where I am now. It kind of like helped me rediscover my passion for art, because obviously it was an art class. So I was drawing every day. I was learning new techniques. I was drawing what I had liked to draw in the past, and it just reignited my passion. And then also like the art competitions that my teacher, like, I wouldn't say forced me, but definitely pushed me to enter into. It gave me like a purpose to draw like one big massive piece of artwork that I could just put as much energy into as I wanted, make it look as nice, as detailed as I wanted. And it was like a good excuse to just put everything onto one page. And that's when I learned that I really like to make like big, large scale paintings, and they take a lot of time. They take like months sometimes. I think this one took at least 2 months to finish, but they're worth it, and I really love how they turn out. It's a really good, like, gratifying process just to have. You start out with like a little sketch, and then it turns into, slowly over time, it turns into like the initial sketch and the thumbnail, and then you get to test out the colors and the compositions, and then you get to the final piece of paper and you do like the sketch and then the line work, and then you start coloring, you do the base colors, the washes, and then you start to do the details, and that's where it really gets good. And that's where it starts to finally get out of the ugly phases and looks beautiful. But yeah, so now that I'm out of high school, the whole like high school journey has basically just been me like rediscovering my passion for art and like figuring out that I actually want to pursue it as a career. I want to become a book cover designer as well as an author, but that's later down the line. And then like during my senior year, I had always planned that I wanted to start my art business and selling prints and stickers and stuff, but I finally did it in, I think it was my senior year, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. But yeah, I started my business. Well, at first I started with my Instagram. That's the main thing that I wanted to focus on growing, and I'm still focusing on that. But then once I got like a little bit of followers, I could start like selling stickers and stuff. but like still it started out with like family and friends just buying them, which is like that's how most businesses start out. But yeah, that's basically where I am now. I'm just trying to keep growing, try to get as much like, I'm trying to like make a living off of art now, kind of. I just really enjoy like the whole creative process and like making products and seeing people like actually excited about them and wanting to buy them. It's not really about the money. It is about the money, obviously, because you need money, sadly. But I really love like engaging with like the community, people who follow me, people who enjoy my art. It just makes me feel really happy to see that people are actually interested in what like my little doodles and stuff. But yeah, so that's basically where I am now. Looking forward, I want to start doing book covers soon. I have made like 1 or 2 book covers, but like I need to start like actually focusing on that. I also need to start focusing on like growing my following, because like I said in the previous video or like earlier on, I do want to, I have a bunch of product ideas and just not the consumer base. So yeah, that's basically where I am now. In terms of like style changes, I guess I wouldn't say I necessarily really had a style like before high school. It was just kind of like, because I didn't really do any full pieces, like full paintings. Not really. I mean, like there's a few, but like there wasn't really anything that like portrayed a certain style. But then my freshman year, I entered into my first art competition, and that's where, like I said, I made my big first piece. And I learned that I really like to like create pieces with a lot of detail and like a lot of stuff going on, and also where I learned like how much I love to use like every single color in like a piece and just balancing them out. So that was that. And then in my sophomore year, I created the collection of phantasmagorical habitat heaps. I feel like that one is like the quintessential, like that's where I found my style. I feel like that's what my style is now, or that's at least what I would like it to be. Also, along with asemic art, like I feel like I haven't talked about that, but I will later on probably. But I discovered, well, I'll talk about that later. But yeah, so then there's that piece, and then during my like sophomore year, I learned that I like the chaotic look a little less, and I would say that like I like focusing on kind of, it's like still lifes kind of, but it's like a portrait of a scene. I wouldn't like necessarily, I like landscapes. Okay, this is getting really confusing, but it's kind of like how I would describe it. It's like a landscape, but a portrait of a landscape, if that makes sense. I don't know. And then also, along with asemic art, I guess I'll just talk about it now. But at first it started out with just like doodles, like little scribbles. And then I had seen this artist's work on Instagram. And they had called it asemic writing, which I had never heard of before, but it really interested me. So then I decided that that's what I was doing. So that's what it is now. But yeah, it first started out with the white gel pen like doodles, and then it became like scribbles, and then like a form of writing. But then it where I have like the black box with the writing in it, I feel like I really enjoy how that looks as well. So like it's a combination of like the symbols and then also the boxes with the symbols. And I just feel like I really like those because it's like interpretive. Like I feel like I don't have to like actually write something out explicitly. It's just kind of implied, or like whatever the viewer interprets it as. Like I think it's just fun to have like one painting that could mean like a million different things. So that's why I like using it. I also just like how like the little it's like a fantasy like kind of aesthetic. Like it looks like it's from a different universe, or it's like from some sort of fantasy world. So that's the main reason that I've like started using it. I just like enjoy how it looks. I think it looks unique. So yeah, I encourage everyone to try out like asemic writing. Just just sit down and scribble some words out that aren't actually words. Like it's so much fun, and it's like a form of poetry. Like that's what aesthetic writing is a form of poetry, but like without words. Like it can just convey emotions and meanings. Like if you ever want to, I've heard this thing is where like doodle journaling or kind of like that, where like you just scribble out, and it's just like you don't have to write with like how like, because your brain kind of like processes words at like a faster rate than your hand can write them at. So if you just like scribble them out and then your brain is just going, it can be kind of therapeutic. Anyways, I just find it really fun to just like scribble out a bunch of different words. It's very therapeutic. So I encourage everyone to do that. Okay, someone asked what my average day of creating looks like, which I think is a really fun question, but unfortunately I don't create every day. I also don't usually tend to create in the day. I usually, like I get all of my energy after 12 a.m. So like usually when I want to draw and when I like have the energy to draw, it's like past midnight. It's usually I'm up in my room at like 3 a.m. drawing on my little iPad, or sometimes I'll just doodle. But yeah, I haven't been able to, or I haven't wanted to, I haven't been motivated to draw like a full entire painted piece with my new like schedule kind of, because like the last like full piece I did was in high school, and that was like before summer, before I started college. So now that I'm doing online classes with college, now that I'm home, I don't really have a schedule yet. I need to do that. I have like pieces planned out that I want to do and I need to do. So I will be doing those soon. I will push myself to do those. But yeah, I basically just haven't like had the motivation to do a full piece. But basically when I do draw, it's like at night in my bed. So there's not like a full process that I have. I just kind of like, okay, well I have to post tomorrow, so now I just have to draw like some things to post. So that's usually how it goes right now. Hopefully in the future I'll have like a full routine that I can have, but I'm looking forward to, you know, making that. But yeah, unfortunately I don't have an actual like routine yet. Someone asked how I make my keychains. I get them made from a company called Vograce. They're, I think, based in China. The great thing about them, I see like a lot of artists use them, and I use them now. But the great thing about them is they have like low minimum order quantities. So if you want to test out just like one keychain, you can buy just one keychain. But yeah, they're pretty cheap. They have great quality, good customer service. I would recommend them. But yeah, that's how I make my keychains. I don't actually make them myself. I just design them and send them off to be manufactured. That's also how I make my blankets. I use like a custom product company to make the blankets. I just send the design, and then whenever someone orders a blanket, I just like order them through them, and then I get them sent like drop shipped. Also with my prints, I use gclaytoday.com. Something that was important to me, like when I was finding a place to get my prints printed, something that was important is I wanted to be able to have like custom sizes, because some of my paintings aren't like normal traditional poster sizes. So I wanted to be able to get like the actual like dimensions for my paintings, and Gclay Today like offers custom sizes. So that's really helpful, and that's why I like using them. And also they have good quality, and they also offer drop shipping, which is great because I don't have to like with that. And eventually I will want to order like a set number, like 100 prints at once, and then like ship them out myself, because I think that would probably be cheaper. But for now I don't have the consumer base again to buy 100 prints and have them be sold. So I just have to get them made to order. And then I get them drop shipped, which Gclay Today fortunately offers. So that's what I use for all my products. And then for stickers, I use Sticker Ninja. They have great customer service, great quality. Their shipping like is a little slow, but it's not the slowest. Like it's pretty fast. Just not as fast as Sticker Mule, which I used to use just because of like their, like, you know, you could get like They're $10, not $10, 10 stickers for $1 like deals. They have a bunch of deals. So if you want to get like cheap stickers and like you don't need to reorder them a bunch, I would recommend Sticker Mule because their quality is nice, but not as nice as Sticker Ninja. But yeah, that's why I go with Sticker Ninja now. So now I think we're gonna move on from like art related topics. I have some other topics to talk about. Someone asked what my favorite pasta shape is, which is a really fun question. Thank you, Serenity. I would say like the rotini, like the squiggly ones, the ones that are like in a spiral. I really like those ones. I feel like they catch a lot of sauce, very yummy, and they're fun to chew because it's just like a bunch of layers of like pasta that you can just like chew. I also really like angel hair pasta. I really love like thin noodles and thin pastas, so angel hair is very nice. Some pasta shapes that I don't really like the bow ties because I just feel like they don't cook evenly because they get like really soggy on the edges, and then like in the middle where it's like pinched together, it gets like, it can be kind of hard. So I just don't like that it's not all one consistent like consistency and texture. So I don't really like bow ties that much, and I feel like they don't catch that much sauce. Also like penne, I feel like, I don't know, I just don't really like that. I feel like they don't catch as much sauce as they need to, or at least with like spaghetti sauce. I actually don't like tomato-based sauces. I don't like spaghetti. I don't like spaghetti sauces. I don't like lasagna. I also don't like hamburgers. I don't like onions. But yeah, those are pretty much the only foods that I don't like. But like, I don't like hamburger meat. So like spaghetti with hamburger meat, or like some meatballs are okay, but like spaghetti, like how my mom makes spaghetti. Sorry, Mom, but she just like has the grinded up like hamburger meat and she puts them in the spaghetti. I don't really like that. So yeah, that was a fun question. I think we're gonna move on to up here now. Okay, I want to put this Harry Potter print above the door somewhere. But also like, I don't really want to make it go to the edge like this. Maybe I do, I don't know. Also like, there's also this little gap between the wall and the door here, and like it's a sizable gap, like enough where I could put something, but like I don't know if I have enough to fill the whole thing, and I feel like I would have to. So I think I'll just leave it blank for now, but also that poses a problem because like, do I want to go to the edge? I think I do. I think it's just, I'm gonna go to the edge. Okay. Let me find another topic to talk about. Okay, someone asked me what my favorite Conan Gray song is. I would say Comfort Crowd and Little League. I'm not a fan of his most recent album. There are some good songs on it, but I just feel like he's going in the wrong direction in terms of style and genre. But yeah, I would say those songs. Comfort Crowd because it's like about friends and friendships, and I love my friends. And Little League because, I don't know, I just really like how it sounds, and like I'm still kind of in that stage of life right now. So yeah, those two are my favorite. Another interesting question that I got, it's actually the last one I have. I actually don't have any more. But someone asked about my opinion on skyscrapers and cities in general, which is a very fun question. I don't know if I have any opinions on skyscrapers necessarily, besides like the aesthetics of them. Like, I don't think that they're necessarily like bad. Like, is there a reason to not like skyscrapers? I don't know. I think I kind of prefer like taller buildings. Not myself, but like in terms of city planning, like I think it's better to have like taller buildings because obviously it takes up less land space. And that gives more room for like parks and recreational areas and stuff. So, because like if everything's spread out, then like it's not a walkable distance as well. I think walkable cities are like fun, nice, good. Like less cars. Like I think it gives like you need less like people without access to transportation or public transportation. Like it's just a good way to like have a city planned out because then everything's in like a distance where you can walk to. But yeah, going back to the aesthetic side of skyscrapers, one thing I don't like about modern skyscrapers is how they look. Because it's just like a giant block. Like, I'm not saying that all of them are like that, obviously, but the ones that are, the ones that just like go straight up and they have no, like, they just don't look good because it's just like a tower with windows. They're just not very pretty to look at. But like, I'm really a fan of like Art Deco. Like the Empire State Building I think is very pretty. But yeah, I think like architecture just needs to go back to being pretty. Cause like with all like the cookie cutter houses, obviously it is more like affordable, obviously, because it's just like one building and then they can like use the floor plan or the blueprints to make a bunch of them. But like, especially for like skyscrapers, like they have no excuse for being ugly. Besides being cheap, I guess, but like, the world just needs to go back to having aesthetic things instead. Like, have you seen people rant about that? Because some examples they used like telephone booths, like how they used to have character and they used to be like red and nice, and now they're just like blank black boxes. If they even have telephone booths anymore. But like, I just think the world needs to go back to prioritizing aesthetics over costs and stuff, because the world is going to end up looking ugly if it's just cinder blocks and stuff everywhere. I mean, there's like the post, I forgot what it's called, it's post something, where it's like the cement and cinder blocks and stuff with like a bunch of like plants. I think that is very pretty, but in general, I think like things need to be more ornate. That probably also goes hand in hand with like maximalism and stuff. But yeah, in terms of like cities, I think cities are fun. They're like a good like cultural melting pot. But yeah, I have nothing against cities, I don't think. Besides like the homeless populations and stuff, we need to fix that. But yeah, going back to like walkable cities, I think I prefer walkable cities because like everything is within access. If you need to, you can just like go walk there. If you don't have access to transportation, like a car, your own stuff, if you can't afford it, like that. And also like in terms of like exercise, like if you walk everywhere, you're getting more exercise, you're being active. Like neighborhoods, like the suburbs, like you can't, I mean, you can just like go on walks, but you can't just like walk to the store or whatever. Like nothing is within access like that, generally speaking. I'm sure there are exceptions. I guess that's it. I can't really think of anything else to talk about for cities and skyscrapers. Let's talk about books now. What books are you guys reading? I have a giant pile of books, like my TBR pile, my to be read pile, that I need to read. Currently, right now, I'm technically reading the first Mistborn book, and I'm also in the middle of, I forgot what it's called, something with Mirror, I think. Yeah, those two are not on my nightstand right now. I haven't read them in a while, but I need to. I'm also reading Crying in H Mart. I'm in the middle of the second Kingkiller Chronicles book. I'm like kind of putting off finishing that book because the third book isn't out yet, and I don't want to have too much space of time between when I finish the second book and when I start the third book. So I'm kind of like slowly getting through that book because I don't want to finish it too early. But yeah, I think most of the books in that pile over there that I'm looking at, that you'll probably see in my room tour, but most of them I've started and never finished or need to finish. I haven't finished yet. that's something that I do with like shows. I kind of just start them and like I never finish them. I don't know if that's just like an instant gratification thing or like what, but like I have a problem just like starting a show and finishing it start to end. Like if it makes me happy to just not watch it anymore, then I just won't watch it anymore. I guess I am like sort of a completionist, which is kind of like weird and backwards, but I don't know. Like I feel like I just get tired of shows. Also, like I feel like if I'm not watching a show like at least one episode every day, I lose interest in that show. So if it goes like a few days between watching like episodes of a show that I can just like binge watch normally, then I'll just like lose interest. I mean, that doesn't. It's different for like shows that are released like once a week, every week. Like then I'll watch that show. But yeah, but like if I have access to all of the episodes in like a season or a show, and I like there's just like even any space of time that goes between me watching one episode and the next, then like I won't be interested anymore. I don't know what's up with that. Why am I like that? I don't know, but that's just how it is. Like I watched, are there like 6 seasons of Lost? I don't know how many seasons of Lost there are, but I had like 3 or 4 episodes left, and I haven't finished Lost. Like I probably should just go back and finish it, but now like I've forgotten like what's happened now. Like it's been a while. But like, and now I can't just say I've watched Lost. Like I have watched it, but I haven't finished it. I have like so few episodes left. It's happened quite a bit actually. But yeah, I mean, like if I'm just not interested anymore, I'm just not gonna watch it. And if I do like I kind of just like operate like if I want to do something like right now, then I'll do it right now. And if I don't want to do it right now, then I don't do it right now. Which is probably not a healthy way of thinking. It's probably not the greatest. Like it doesn't work with like homework assignments and stuff because obviously I never want to do those. So then I kind of just procrastinate them and push them off to like the very end. But I mean, like I've gotten this far. I mean, like I graduated with like all A's. So like it works out, you know. It's fine. I guess like if it's worked out this far, then like why change? I don't know. It does like make me really stressed at the end when like I have to sit there and like push a project out or like an assignment when it's due in like 2 hours. But I don't know. I get it done because like I can that way. I will fix it soon. But that way I can just like enjoy my entire week, and then I just have to stress for like a few hours. I feel like it's just like, because why would I want to stress 3 days or 4 days out of a week when I could only stress 1 day, right? That's how I view it. I'm gonna try to change it soon, but that's how it is now. Okay, we're moving on to this section right here, and this part I feel like, let me get this light out of the way. I feel like this part's gonna be a little hard. I have a painting that I want to put here, but I don't know, there's some tiny spaces. I feel like it's gonna be a challenge. Also, my desk is in the way, so like I can't stand here, but I'll make it work. Okay, I'm gonna put this painting here, I think just like right there. I guess like going back to books, what's your guys' favorite like genre? Or what's your favorite book? My favorite genre is obviously fantasy. I really enjoy fantasy books. I don't think I could really read it's not that I couldn't read other books, but I'm just not as interested in other books if they're not fantasy or especially not fiction. I do not like non-fiction books. I don't like movies based on true stories. But yeah, there just has to be like a little bit of some sort of like storytelling element that's outside of like true events. I don't know. Anyways, I do some contemporary or some stuff like that, but like I mainly stick to fantasy. But what's your guys' favorite genre? I also just noticed that there's a stain here on my shirt. Oh, there's more from last I saw. I have no clue what that's from. It makes me really sad. Those are new. I hope they come out. These are my sticker sheets. I just launched my shop update today, my mini shop update, so these are available now for purchase. They're $6 each, or if you buy them like as a set together, it'll be $10. So I haven't sold any yet. It's the night of my shop update. So if you're interested, I also have to clean up that bulletin board soon, probably in this video, but I'm probably gonna have to like cut this video in half at some point, maybe after I finish this or like a little bit, because I have to think through what I want to do with this wall because I'm not sure yet. And also, like, it's nighttime now. My family's at like a birthday party right now, so they're gonna be home soon probably. And I don't really like filming while they're home. One, because I don't want them to like listen in because it's just a little embarrassing, but also because like I have 4 younger siblings, so they're pretty loud. Are you guys into having houseplants? I really love plants, and I have a bunch of houseplants you'll see, but yeah, I just recently got a new one. I think it's a rubber tree. I'm actually not sure, it didn't have a label on it. I should probably research into that to see how to care for it. But that was the first houseplant I've gotten in like such a long time. What's your guys' favorite plant? Houseplant? Or any plant, I guess. Mine would probably be, out of the ones I've had in the past, probably a maidenhair fern or a China doll plant. I've had them in the past, but they've since long been dead. They've died. So that's a little sad. Maidenhair ferns, I've had like 2 or 3, and they've all died. They're very hard to take care of, for me at least. I don't know about for other people. I think those ones are just like really pretty to look at. I have a Monstera, and I've kind of just, like, it doesn't have any fenestrations yet, like the little holes in them, and I really want it to get some. I've had it for like 5 or 6 years now. It's been a long time. I got it when it was a baby, and it still looks like a baby. I really want it to just like grow. It might be one of my favorite plants if it would just get the fenestrations. I also love propagating plants. Like, it's just so easy to just stick a little leaf in a thing of water. Like, I don't know if you can see, but there's one right here. Would you guys be interested in doing a draw this in your style? I'm thinking of doing one for my like 2,000 subscriber little celebration. But I'm not sure if I should use one of my paintings that I've done in the past or if I should do a new one. Because I feel like, I don't know, I do landscapes mostly. And like, people don't necessarily do backgrounds or landscapes as much. I feel like most artists like drawing portraits or people or characters. So I don't do that though. If you guys have like any suggestions of my past paintings that you would be interested in doing a draw this in your style of, let me know. I'm thinking of doing the one that's like the long one with the sword. I'm thinking of doing that as one of them. I think that would be a fun one to do. Let's talk about video games now. Do you guys play video games? I really enjoy playing video games, but here's the thing. Like, it's kind of the same thing how I said about how I never finish books and how I never finish, or how sometimes I don't finish shows. Like, I feel like I rarely like play a game to completion. I feel like I just get tired of it. I really enjoy like playing it and playing new games, but I don't know. I haven't really like sat down and played a game in a while. I think it's just because like I've had less time to sit down and play games in longer sessions, and I don't really like playing video games in short sessions. But like, I've never finished like Breath of the Wild. I haven't finished it yet. I need to, especially before the second one comes out. The most hyperfixated I've been on a game was probably Stardew Valley. I got pretty far. I think I got into year 3, but like I got pretty far. I haven't really played on it since the new update, but I did recently get it on the Switch, and I want to like start a new farm. I also was playing Genshin. Like, I played it like right when it came out, and then I played it for like a few months, and then I stopped, and then I played it again for a few months, and then I stopped. I feel like I've gone through like 3 cycles by now, but I haven't played in a while. I did play for the new Sumeru update. I don't know if I talked about that already. But yeah, I don't know. I don't feel like the motivation to play it. I really enjoy like life sim games or farming sim games, or basically just like simulation games in general. I really wish there was like a good cooking simulation game, because there are like games that have cooking mechanics in it, but nothing that like satisfies me. Like, I feel like I want like a life sim game that's like a fantasy game, that also has like a Cooking Mama whole like section to it. Like I want like that level of like cooking in a game. Cause like if all the cooking is in a game is collecting like ingredients and filling out the recipe, and then you just like click a button and it makes a meal, like that's just not fun. Or like if you have, I've seen somewhere like you just like there's like a slider or something where you have to like cook it to the like perfection. Like that's just not fun. Like I want like a whole like Cooking Mama experience where I can chop stuff and mix stuff. I don't know. I really want a game like that with like pretty graphics, or even just like, have you guys played A Short Hike? Like that kind of like crunchy pixely DS look. I think like a cooking game in that style would be awesome. I would love it so much. It would be amazing. Okay, this section is done now. Okay, I'm gonna be redoing this corkboard now. These are, like, I had a bunch of these little mini origami papers and I wrote down like the ideas that I had for my AP pieces, because it was just like a good visual way to keep track of which ones I had completed and which ones I was working on. So those are those, but I'm thankfully done with that now, so I don't need these up anymore. That was actually the main reason I got this corkboard, is because I needed like a place to keep track of them. This was also another thing that I used to keep track of the same thing, my AP pieces. That was just like, I guess I'll talk about that experience. It was just a lot. Like, I guess the requirements don't seem that bad because it's just, was it 12 or 15 pieces? I don't know. I think it was 12. I don't know, 12 or 15 pieces, but I mean, just like personally, I like spend a lot of time on my paintings. Like I don't think you guys realize, but like I spend a lot of, like it takes me, like I said, like months. Sometimes, like usually it doesn't take me months, but definitely like for larger pieces, or I guess this was just like when I was at school, but it took me like a lot of time just for one piece. And I was trying to fix that, and I was getting quicker, and I was learning to be more loose and more free with like my artwork. And that definitely helped take less time. Like, I don't know if this was in frame, but this one, it only took me a few days and it turned out really nice and I'm really happy with it. So I need to learn to be more loose with my paintings because it helps the process go a lot quicker. But like for the AP thing, I spent the entire first semester on that Wish Away a World, the one with the meteors and the planet one. I spent an entire semester on that one painting. Like it only actually took 2 months, but the rest of that time I just like didn't work on anything else. Like that piece burned me out so much that I just couldn't work on anything. And I tried. I had actually planned on working on pieces like in the summer before my senior year, because I had taken AP design, AP 2D design, my junior year, so I knew what it was like. I just think that like the entire AP system, like it's not for everyone, for sure. And I think they like prioritize like realism and like talent and technical skill more than they do with like creativity, which might not necessarily be true, but like in my experience, that's what I've seen. So like, as someone who isn't necessarily the most like technically advanced, like I don't do a lot of realism, mainly because I prioritize my like creativity and like making new ideas and like kind of going outside of the box, more than I do with like realism. I just think that realism is kind of boring and it's just like not fun to actually do, you know? I mean, I would like to get more into drawing like portraits and stuff. I really do want to find like my own style with portraits. Like I want to learn how to draw people and draw people in my own style. So that's something that I'm trying to work on. Anyways, going back to like AP. So it was just like, because you have to make like 12 pieces, because I only finished one my first semester, like that gave me, I don't know, like January, February, March, April, May, like 5 months to complete 11 or 14, no, I think it was 15 pieces. So I had to complete 14 pieces in 5 months, which was my fault because I only completed one in the first semester. Since it takes me like a month to complete a design, like obviously 5 months was not enough for 14 pieces. So I kind of had to, I struggled in the end there. I was trying to like plan it out so I could do like, so I would have enough time for each piece, but I don't think I definitely did not have the motivation to stick with that routine and that plan. I don't know, I survived, I got through it. I did only get a 4, which I got a 4 my junior year, so I was really hoping to get a 5 my senior year, but unfortunately that just didn't happen. I'm really still salty about it, but because like I feel like I put way too much effort into my paintings to only get a 4. Like I put so much time and effort and energy, like the amount of sleepless nights that I went through, and to only get a 4 is just like heartbreaking, honestly. That's like the whole thing, like with like judges, like they have different judges, obviously. So like if I had just gotten a different judge, then maybe I would have gotten a 5. So it's just like all up to chance, and it just, you spend an entire year working on one thing, only to get one score with no feedback. That's like the main thing. You don't get any feedback, you don't get any reasons on why you got that score. It's just one number and that's it. I think that's my main gripe with it. And because I got a 4. But that's my rant. If you think you can do it, I think you should do it. I think it's a good experience because it forces you to get 15 pieces done. And they don't all have to be like finished pieces. Like I had like 3 or 2 ones that were just images with like process images. But yeah, if you could do it, I suggest you do it. If you think you can do it. If you don't think you can do it, and if you think it'll break you, and if you think that it's not what you need right now and that it'll probably make you quit art, I think you should definitely not do it. Even if your art teacher says you need to, like do it, but just like don't put all of yourself into it. Like never put all of yourself into it for any school assignment at all. Only for personal stuff. Which might be bad advice, but in my experience, like that's just like to save yourself and to save your creative energy. Do not put all of yourself into one thing that other people are expecting from you. Unless it's like for a job or something that like you want to do, right? I feel like, I don't know, that could be completely wrong and maybe like the opposite, but that's just how I get it. That's just like what I think. And it's just like the anti-hustle culture. Like why expend that energy onto something when you could do it with less energy? Okay, I'm trying to figure out, definitely want to put this up here and this, maybe this, I don't know. I want these postcards to go back up. My friend Lily got these for me, thank you Lily. She's at Brown now, yeah, she's going to Brown in Ivy League. So proud of her. Yeah, she actually left me here though, so I'm actually not proud of her. I mean, like I could have gone to RISD, that would have been really fun because RISD and Brown are obviously like right next to each other. That would have been a fun experience, but sadly not. I think I want to put these like this here, but I don't know what I would put here if I did that. Okay, so my phone storage was full, and my phone does this thing where it won't let me record because my phone storage is full. So the video cut out, but I got all of this done. And I was probably just like rambling on anyways, so it probably wasn't that interesting. So I'm not that sad about it, but I don't know what I'm gonna do about my full storage. I'm gonna have to get like a hard drive soon, but yeah, I just like deleted some stuff, so hopefully this works now. This is my friend Abigail. She recently moved away to college, but I have this picture from her graduation card, like graduation party invitation. So I'm just gonna like stick her in here, because why not? I'm sure she would be very happy. I hope you're watching this, Abigail. Hello, if you are. If not, then it's your loss, honestly. Okay, it's getting pretty late now. My parents are probably gonna come home soon, and I have not eaten dinner yet. So we did finish this wall, and this behind me, and my corkboard. So I think I'm happy with the progress that we've made today. There's only that little like bit above my shelf, and then like that corner where my reading chair is. That's it, and then the ceiling. And then I can finally do the room tour. But yeah, that's gonna have to wait until I finish that. So I don't know when I'm gonna be able to finish that. This will probably be all one video, so you'll probably see me in the next segment. But if not, thanks for watching. Bye. I'm getting good at this.